Okay, so let's get right into it. Today, we're looking at a classic management headache, a split post arrangement that's supposed to work on paper, but it's only 4 weeks in and it's already falling apart. We're going to dig into why the problem isn't the person, but the system he was dropped into.
So here's the central question we're trying to answer. You've got this key staff member, a designated safeguarding lead named Dev Kapoor, and at a really critical moment, he's just not where he's supposed to be. Now, this isn't some simple mix-up with a calendar. It's a symptom of something much, much bigger going on under the surface.
And this is where the alarm bells really start ringing. It's almost midnight, and a junior colleague sends this email about a potential safeguarding issue. She can't reach Dev, the one person who's supposed to handle this. And look at that line. She thinks he might be at his other school, even though it's a day he's scheduled to be at hers. So how on earth did we get here?
To really get what's going on, we have to rewind. Let's go back 4 weeks and look at how this whole thing was set up in the first place.
So here's the deal. A budget restructure forces Dev Kapoor's important role to be split between two different schools. But the most important detail on this slide? The last one. This was a top-down decision. No one bothered to consult with the head teachers who actually had to make this work on the ground. And right there, that's really the seed of the whole problem.
What's really interesting, though, is that Dev himself was actually pretty optimistic at the start. He saw it as a way to grow, to get out of a role where he felt a little bit stuck. So right away, we know he's not the problem here. He was ready and willing to make this succeed. But, not everyone was feeling so positive. His manager, Janita, she saw the red flags from a mile away. She warned her bosses, look, we've got two totally different cultures. The heads haven't bought into this, and there's no real support. Her concerns, pretty much ignored. And this brings us to the absolute heart of the issue. This was never just about splitting someone's time between two buildings. It was about asking one person to exist in two completely different and, frankly, conflicting worlds. To help us unpack this, we're going to use a really useful tool, Handy's Organizational Cultures Framework. It basically helps us see past the org chart and understand how a place really works. Is it all about one person's power, or is it about empowering the people? And wow, when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. Riverside is a classic power culture. Everything revolves around the head teacher. Your influence depends on how close you are to him. Coppice Lane, on the other hand, is a person culture. It's built on relationships and expertise. It exists to help its people thrive. Poor Dev was caught right in the middle of this fundamental clash. And you can hear the impact in his own words. At Riverside, the power culture school, he felt tolerated. Not valued, not welcomed, just tolerated. He was an outsider, and the system made sure he knew it every single day.
So what does a power culture look like in practice? Well, it's not always obvious aggression. It's subtle. People are polite, but they withhold things. His IT access gets delayed. He's left out of key briefings. The head teacher literally answers questions that are asked directly to Dev. He's being treated like a cog in a machine, not an expert with authority. But then he walks into Coppice Lane and boom, it's a completely different world. The person culture there just embraced him. He felt seen, he felt valued, he felt respected. And I mean, just look at the contrast. At Coppice Lane, he gets a warm welcome on day one. He's immediately pulled into important meetings. People actually seek out his expertise. They ask him to contribute in new ways. So you see what's happening, right? One school is systematically pushing him out, while the other is pulling him in with open arms. Now, these cultures don't just appear out of nowhere. They are shaped and reinforced every day by the leaders at the top. So let's take a closer look at their styles. For this, we'll use another great tool, the Thomas Kilmann model. It helps us map out how people handle conflict based on how assertive they are about their own needs versus how cooperative they are with others' needs.
So Graham, the head at Riverside, has a competing style. He's all about his own agenda. The result? He undermines Dev's authority. Then you have Margaret at Coppice Lane. She has an accommodating style. She's incredibly cooperative, but what she ends up doing is absorbing Dev's time and energy into her school's priorities. So you see, in their own ways, both styles create a huge problem for Dev. So when you smash together these clashing cultures and these conflicting leadership styles, well, the result is pretty much inevitable.
This right here is the core of it. The job was designed to be a perfect 50-50 split. but the experience is completely asymmetrical. One school affirms his professional values and makes him feel great. The other just requires him to show up.
And the psychological effect of this is so predictable. Think about it. In one place, you get compliance. In the other, you get affirmation. Where are you going to put your energy? It's only natural that he starts to drift towards the environment that's more rewarding. And let's be clear, this isn't a professional failure. It's a completely rational human response.
And here it is, the proof, the smoking gun. Margaret, the head at Coppice Lane, casually mentions to Janita that Dev is now coming in on Thursdays, a day that's supposed to be dedicated to Riverside. The psychological drift has now become a physical, logistical reality.
Okay, let's put all the pieces together. What is really, truly going on here? What's the root cause? Remember Janita, his manager? Her first moves were to try and fix the symptoms. She chased up his IT access, she tried coaching Dev on being more assertive. And look, those were well-intentioned moves, but they were focused on fixing the person. They completely missed the fact that the system was the problem. And that's a mistake so many of us make.
So the single biggest takeaway is this: the scheduling conflict, the missed calls. Those are just symptoms. The real disease here is a deep, fundamental clash of organizational cultures. You can't fix this with a new calendar invite.
So we've done the diagnosis. We know the problem isn't the person, it's the system. It's not about time management, it's about culture. So now that you see the real problem, what's your first move?